I'm actually really excited about this keyboard. I'm keen to actually go and have a go on it. I think the price is really good. For there's nothing that it competes with. A um, Bluetooth mechanical keyboard that is simple, minimal, like well designed. That is not a bloody 10 keyless bullshit. Like that's the main kind of beef with the mechanical keyboard scene, is that there are very, very little options for, um, 100% or 89% keyboards, which means like it's like a standard keyboard with a numpad. Almost all of the mechanical keyboard community is focused on 60%, like between 60 and 80% keyboards. And I'm just like, I'm not a gamer, but I use the computer every day, um, as a designer on 3D programs. And I don't have time. Like I don't have time to play. Like I need a serious tool for my work. And I think that for example, the trend of keyboard going flat, with no three-dimensional kind of curvature on the keycaps, as you see on the Apple laptops now. That's just generally been kind of the trend, with commercially available keyboards, anyways. I felt that it sacrificed tactility way too much on the way there. So an option like this is really exciting. Also, like I don't know if this has RGB lighting. I hope it doesn't. Uh, I really hope it doesn't. So I like the maturity there. Uh, I wonder if it looks like so Razer has three different switch types. They have the tactile, the clicky, which by the way is just like the most hated type of switch by far. And it's good for gaming because you can hear the tactile, whatever. There is so there's a clicky, there's a tactile, which has the similar kind of tactile bump, you call it. So when you press on the key, before it bottoms out, there's a bump that you can feel that exactly coincides with when the key activates. So you're 100% sure that you press the key, instead of having to bottom out to be able to, or somewhere in between, And as opposed to the clicky style, the tactile is just literally, like an extra bump that you feel. You don't hear it, which is what this keyboard has. And then there's a third type of switch, which is by far the most popular type of switch. It's called the linear switch, which has no tactility in it because people think that it's kind of a gimmick, the bump, and people are satisfied with that really smooth, full motion and that's really silent, right? So when this says it's silent, it's just comparing it to the clicky. And the other thing is you actually can't specify which switch that you want on this keyboard. It comes with only the tactile option, right? Which is a really good in between like gaming and productivity, in general. But I think I'm sure there's a business case around it where if they did it with more options, it'd be much more expensive. But so I can already tell that this is an aim for, the the keyboard kind of connoisseur people. I think, I'm not sure, but the switches looks like it's compatible with Cherry MX style keycaps, which I'm not 100% sure. Like it looks like the same kind of mounting, so you might be able to do some customization there. But again, I can't tell. Like Razer, their own switches, they make their own switches. So again, I guess it comes down to you actually trying it in preference. Lastly, but importantly, they saved a lot of money by combining the functionality of the keyboard case with also the mounting board. So normally there is the mounting board, which the switch is mechanically fixed on, and then on top there's the case layer. But they've combined the functionality of both by using the mounting board as the top of the case, which has that kind of, which also makes that minimal floating key kind of style. And I feel like they've used aluminum, which is kind of an in-between between it's not the most flexible, it's not the most stiff mounting option for keyboards. So which should work for most people, but because of the plastic support, I wonder how that will impact the acoustics of the keys. And as long as it's not like too high pitched and nothing rattles, I think this is this is really exciting. I think they've thought about it, and yeah, if it doesn't sound terrible, I feel like this is what I'd get for my personal use.
I just have to say how concerned I am at how much Hans knows about this stuff. Like, seriously. Get a life, man. Oh, God. It's a keyboard. Like, come on. Anyway, on a more serious note, I think, look, for me, I can't comment too much about the actual keyboard without using it. I'd love to have a play on it and see how it feels and, how quiet it is. God, I hope it's quiet if Hans is going to get one. Like, he's one of those people that bashes the keyboard. Hans and Sophie. Sophie is even more terrible. Like, I'm concerned every time I give her my laptop if it's actually going to come back with a key or not. But no, it's just teasing. But yeah, on a more serious note, I think Brian touched on a really important aspect of sort of Razer as a brand and how it is going from being purely a gamer sort of market segment to gamer pro consumer sort of market, slowly starting to filter into that area and that market share. Like, I mean, I already know that, as a person that enjoys the use of quality products, and Razer makes some good quality products. The Razer Blade lineup is of quite high quality and high performance as well. And they have a very different aesthetic styling, and it's a very different option to sort of what Apple is providing. I mean, there are still a few kind of out there flamboyant aspects to these laptops, but I imagine like in 2-3 years from now that there would be a much more muted sort of option, and Razer is already starting to explore those options. So I think they're really trying to stretch and open up that market and sort of appeal to a wider range of consumers, which I think is great personally, because I do like the sort of products that Razer makes. But the reason I personally don't get them is because there's too much bells and whistles on them, But as they start to get muted, that's more sort of, you could say, the designer community or the pro consumers of these products. So yeah, I'm excited to see how this evolves and where this sort of trend takes them. And I think it's a good move as a business. I think it's a great move. Like, if you can capture two market segments, I think that's fantastic.
You know what I think it is? I think I think, if I think about a developing company, they would start with, maybe one designer on the team, right? And by now they're a flourishing company. They're expanding their product line. They need more designers and they want to look for more talented designers. And as talented designers join the team, they'll just refuse to make ugly shit with RGB bullshit everywhere. It doesn't have to be a Christmas tree every time you turn on computer, And like, as the quality of designers that join, like they want quality design, like, increases, right? I feel like I can hear the voices of the designers in the Razer team, like who have been slowly, like, mounting up arguments. Like, guys, come on! Like, I want to make some actually, some designs that I would actually use, kind of thing, and not just pander to, market forces.
Actually, I'm trying to think. Even as a kid, I hated lighting on computers. And I'm trying to remember why. And I think it goes back to when internet was so slow, and you had to leave your computer on at night to download some music or to download, I don't know, a game or whatever it is. And it used to be on 56K modem. It took like a week before it would finish downloading something, which means that you had the light going while you were going to sleep, And that was so frustrating and infuriating. I think I used to put like a towel over my computer or something just to stop it from, it's just like this bright light while you're trying to sleep. Maybe that's where I am personally sort of annoyed about it. But now that computers are fast, internet is super fast, you download things in like a minute, you're not as worried about it. So maybe people are much more cool with having their computer sort of have RGB lighting and kind of do disco lighting because they can turn it off. They don't have to worry about it interrupting a download.
It's more primal for me. Like it's like, as a kid, you get those shoes with like LEDs in it and that makes sound, it has wheels and fucking, those shoes, And then like as a kid, remember like the first time you saw those things, you're like, damn, that's cool. Like, come on, man. The very first time, right? Like
as a kid,
step on it and like it has like this, the very first time you're like, whoa. You're like 7 years old and you're like, shit. You're like, I didn't know shoes could do that. But then like every time after that, like as you grow older, like you don't see, you never want to go back. Like it's just, why do you want that in a shoe? Like maybe like if you're going to a rave, like what, just. That's exactly what this is, like, and it just hasn't. People just haven't like. People need to grow up and realize that RGB lighting is equivalent to stupid flashing lights and the heels of shoes. Like Heelys are better than Heelys, like with the wheels in it. Like those are a step up. Like, but it's. I think one of the reasons why, we associate more minimal aesthetics with quality design is it's exactly like, you can go into your room and every day you can have it be a rave disco party with all these lights every single day, right? Or you can go into a white room and just decide what it's going to be that day. It just opens up so many more options if it's not really saying anything as a baseline, and you can actually focus on what it's meant to do. Like if it's shoes, take you somewhere. If it's a keyboard, then interface with the computer. and not, you know, not get so distracted by things that don't matter ultimately. Because there would be that one in like 300 days, one day of the year where you want to, like, you know, really, you know, you want to feel hyped up and just like a junkie, like, I don't know, like some adrenaline junkie. You want like all the lights going crazy at you, and you know, but not every day.